Imagine this. You're talking to your buddy about some stuff that isn't related to your main hobbies, like fishing. Meanwhile, you've been playing some YouTube video in the background for dopamine maxing. When video ended, autoplay literally ran a document about your conversation topic. You have noticed that immediately and got anxious since you didn't even search this. It felt like you had a spy in your room on device you carried on every single day. After this incident, you started researching and realized how doomed we are. Most of stuff we use daily is designed to harvest as much data as possible, just to feed the endless grind for profits to satisfy shareholders. This happened to me, and because of that I have literally developed digital schizophrenia, and my new obsession was finding solution to this. It took me 2 showers period to find 3 ways to solve that. First one is removing from power every single person that is abusing this shit. However, this is contradictory to nothing ever happened laws, so huge revolution is unlikely since it requires something to happen, which as we know is impossible. Second solution is selling your every single electronic device and replace them with things from 70s. Then move out from big city to live in the forest, use only cash and force every visitor to put phone in mailbox. But it also means that you will miss the funniest TikToks and Reels in existence, so nah, let's look for something else. The last, most realistic one. Instead of quitting, you can just decorporate your tech and start using less popular, pro-privacy things that most people will never touch. It will take time, you will have to learn something, but at least you might even start feeling like no one is watching your every single digital step. You will recognize it works by seeing completely random ads instead of adjusted for your needs. Your searches might be less accurate since search engine doesn't exactly know what are you looking for, and in some cases you will stop receiving spam emails and calls. I saw myself these results after doing some basics like changing browser, search engine, using VPN, but I still felt deep inside me that it wasn't enough. I've decided to do a step further to actually dive into digital paranoia. So, boys and girls, it is time to become a femboy. That's right, femboy. At least that's the stereotype about users of Arch Linux. Quick explanation. Arch Linux is a Linux distribution designed to be as configurable and as minimalistic as possible. It means that after installation, you start with almost nothing downloaded, so you can make your OS as you'd like. And if your operating system starts with almost nothing, then it's also not doing some goofy things like screenshotting your activity to feed the most useless AI of all time. And you may ask, why femboys? To clarify, I'm not removing Windows from my PC. Some stuff work only here like Rust or League of Legends. Also in case of something really not wanting to run on Arch and being needed ASAP, I unfortunately still need Microsoft. What I'm going to do is dual boot. It's basically having 2 OS on one PC that work separately from each other. After setting this up, I will ungamify my system and download everything that I use on daily basis. To even make dual boot, I needed proper gear. So I found software called Rufus that set up flash drives containing OS image, which is entire operating system packed into one file to be prepared for installation. After that, I've done some basic Windows backup, restarted my PC, and started installing Linux. And well, the first thing I saw wasn't some press 3 buttons to download a window. It was plain text. And as a genius, I knew exactly what to do. Call Daddy Cloud. I mean, there is documentation of how to actually install it and what to do, but I was too afraid to try to debunk it on my own. I know, switching to Linux was supposed to teach me something, but fear was stronger than me, okay? Don't blame me, please. Anyway, after at least 2 hours of setting basics like internet, language, system memory, dual boot configuration, and even UI design, I finally managed to run it, and I was impressed. I don't know why, but this very simple design looked even better than Windows one. But besides that, everything was lagging as fuck. Obviously it was supposed to happen since I'm using Nvidia graphic card, which is not the best friend with Linux, so to make the system actually work, I needed to install Nvidia drivers, and then everything was awesome. By fighting for life with my GPU, I've noticed that downloading on Arch is pretty fast. Lots of softwares are available on Arch user repository that are prepared to run on this OS. Because of that, I can look for software repository name, type one command and download it, instead of walking through the site and looking for download button. So then, it was time to cook something. There is something called metadata. Basically, it contains some information about files. For example, photo might have some basic data like resolution, file name, exact geographical coordinates where it was taken. I've just tried to frighten you a little, but don't get me wrong. It's not like metadata is something made by the devil. A lot of professionals find them useful, like mentioned photos also contain metadata about copyright, and geographical coordinates might be used to retake a photo with different camera. But I'm not a photographer, and for me it was better to have something done with them. So, I made Python script that whenever a new document, video or photo appear in a chosen by me directories, it uses metadata removal to clean it from unnecessary informations. I've uploaded it on GitHub, link in pinned comment. If you are interested, enjoy. Make it more convenient, you can set this script to autorun whenever you start a system by making this directory and setting there a file looking like this and then using this command. Obviously, that's not it. Since I like to play some games from time to time, I've downloaded Steam to try how does gaming feel, and honestly, Valve fucking cooks so hard. They made a tool called Proton that basically translates commands from Windows 1 to Linux, and it works so well. I can even run some easy anti-cheat games like Ark Riders or Marvel Rivals. You can even press penguin icon to see which games are fine with Linux. The only left game for me is League of Legends. After all this work, it was finally time to log in into my accounts. And well, something bad was about to happen. Just look. Okay, I thought I am a little bit smarter because I'm looking for my KeePass file to, get my passwords for my every single account, and I've searched every single directory and I still cannot find it. Like, it's supposed to be here in this project directory, but there is only this Linux image. I've even used search bar, but it didn't work. Yeah, I might be a little bit stupid. It turned out that I am not the smartest specimen alive, but remember when I said this?
After that, I've done some basic Windows backup.
That's right, I did make backup. And in directory downloads I had files that allowed me to change passwords for emails. 10 seconds of setup saved my accounts that had nothing to show, but I would need to make them again, which would take much more time. Few days after, during my daily doom scrolling, I watched a video that showed custom boot animations for Steam Deck. It quickly got my attention because I was sure that if that's possible on Steam Deck, then on Arch as well. Right after, my search for the best animation began, and I found it. The most fulfilling boot animation that I could ever take. I immediately started working and failed. For some reason, I've managed to load it, but it wasn't moving at all and was visible for half a second. So, to at least do something more, I've changed dual boot design, because it's not the prettiest thing ever. And this time, I had no skill issue, since it only required downloading theme and in config file writing path to it. And you may ask, what did I choose? Out of all options, I've decided to go ahead with this. I've never played Persona, but damn, this looks so fucking gorgeous. So let's call it a day. When I was setting this up, I was expecting something similar when I had to use Ubuntu in college. Ugly and unintuitive, something that I would never use. But experience with Arch feels different. Mostly everything is working very well, and even if not, it is repairable. There is no copilot bullshit, downloading is fast, and UI looks clean. Also now, I can be bullied with memes like Linux users trying to download web browser. Honestly, if you are considering switching to Linux, it's worth trying out, especially since Windows 10 lost its support and 11 is huge BS. Not only it is free, but setting some stuff up will help you understand new things that might be beneficial in future. And most importantly, at least for me, it was fun entertainment that killed a lot of my free time. So, if you still wonder, just try. In worst case, you will waste a few hours, but you will have something to talk about with your waifu. For me, there is still much to do with min-maxing my skills and securing my privacy, but even so, I believe switching to Linux helped a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and see ya!